Well, I'm back in my usual place after a long time of not being here. I was doing a lot of videos and interviews at the wonderful Wild Rose Moon. We'll talk about them in a little bit. But I came back to sit in front of my CD collection because that's what we're talking about today is new music that has come out so far this year. At the end of last year, I tried to do a video of all of the new music that came out that year in 2020 because I wanted to really celebrate something good that happened in 2020. It's such a rough year for all of us. Something really great happened, and that was the amount of amazing music that came out. Well, in fact, it was actually so much that it was a little hard to do a video. Well, actually, it was impossible to keep it short and concise due to the just sheer volume of amazing music that came out last year. So it's already looking to be the same way this year. A lot of amazing releases, a lot of really wonderful projects coming out. So to make it a little more short and keep it nice and concise and manageable, I am dividing the year into three parts. We'll take a look at 4 months at a time. So the next one of these will be in a little bit, but for now we're going to look at everything that's been released from January through the end of April. The year started out with some wonderful releases from Jaap, Blonk, someone that I was really fortunate enough to get to interview last year. Some of the releases featuring him focus on lakefront discussions. This came out. This is with Udo Schindler. I hope I said that name correctly. And also with the two of them, along with Damon Smith on bass, came out this album, the Munich Sound Studies, Volume 2 and 3. Well, what about Volume 1, you may ask? Well, there is certainly a Volume 1 as well, but it's with the same people, Udo Schindler, Damon Smith, and then instead of Jaap Blonk, there is Karina Earhart. I don't have the physical copy with me here, but I do have the physical discs of the Lakefront Discussions and the Munich Sound Studies 2 and 3. Both those are incredible, really great recordings. And then from Jaap, along with Damon Smith, comes a really fun reissue. These two albums are now out of print, so now they are back in print, but instead of two different two different packages and two different cases and such, now we have this album on this side, and then you flip it over and there's another album on that side, and it's connected, so 2 in 1. This contains the two releases of Jaap's renditions of Hugo Ball's 6 sound poems. So first is the original version that he did, and then the newer version with Damon Smith. I think this originally came out in 2011, this one, and this one was in the late 90s, I think. And now the complete set with text and information in the liner notes. This came out earlier this year. Along those lines, another improviser that I really love and who is an incredible friend and really an amazing mentor, Thollem. He started a subscription series that I mentioned last year because a few of those had already started to come out. Now he has issued his first physical release, and that's here. This is actually kind of similar to that album, in which it's got 2 front covers, but this time only 1 disc. And on one side we have with Susan Alcorn, the amazing pedal steel guitar player, my favorite instrument, by the way. And then on the other side is with Alex Klein, and this is part of the Astral Spirits series. So there's to be more physical releases coming out later this year. I'm really excited. And each and every month there's something new, and I'm always looking towards that email. So it's a lot of fun. And one more person that I got to talk to actually earlier this year about his new albums, that'd be the great Jad Fair, is, as of the recording of this video, up to 36 new albums this year. Probably by the time that this is published and the time that you watch it, it will be much more than 36. He's hoping to do 2 a week, so we'll see. But this is just absolutely amazing. I really love listening to all of those. Last year, at the as the year was closing, I was trying to imagine which artists would be potentially coming out with some new material this year, and I couldn't think of many. And then there was actually one that I did think of that came out with the album already this year. I'll mention that in just a second. But one that I would have never guessed, and that I'm really grateful for, is actually the amazing singer Karen Matheson. It's actually been quite a while since she's had a new album out, and I was just quite surprised, but also extremely grateful and very happy that she did release a new album this year. The title of that is Still Time, so very appropriate message for right now. But that's just an incredible recording. It's got some really fine musicians on it and some really beautiful pieces. That's out on Compass Records earlier this year. The artist that I had a big suspicion would come out with something this year was Kishi Bashi, and sure enough he did, and this is an absolute dream come true. His second most previous record, Sunderlust, I just absolutely love it. It's the perfect blend of everything for me. It's poppy, it's got some really like classical refinements to it. It's just got an amazing groove. I really love that record. I did not expect, but I'm really thrilled, so thrilled that his next album, and even that the record label would publish it, I'm grateful for them too, is a Bluegrass EP, and that couldn't be better. I just am so happy to hear that. As soon as I heard the preview, I immediately bought the VIP membership to Joyful Noise Recordings and bought the VIP version of it. The vinyl is not out yet. It will be out, I think, in June, so it's like half and half, whether it should be in this video or not. The vinyl will be later, but the digital is out now. Go listen to it. It's absolutely incredible. With the vinyl, I think you get one extra song on the flexi disc, so that's nice. But it's really incredible music. They're stuck in my head all day long, so it's really fun. Another album that has been absolutely stuck in my head and stuck on heavy rotation is the new album out from the amazing singer and really amazing bass player Melissa Carper. That's titled Daddy's Country Gold. And this album really, it sounds like an amazing recording from, I don't know, the 60s, just the height of really cool country music. Sounds like the whole group of them just came right out of their, like, I don't know, maybe this album was recorded then and they found it just recently in a vault or somewhere. It's unbelievable that there are a group of musicians still that are so dedicated to creating such an authentic and well-produced record. It's just absolutely amazing. I guarantee you, if you would turn it on without knowing who it is or when it was recorded, you would absolutely be shocked to learn that this is a brand new recording in 2021. The pedal steel in there sliding away, the triple fiddle section, I think, or at least twin fiddle section. Wonderful bass playing, wonderful guitar playing. It's just an incredible record. So, and it actually is a record. You can get a CD and a vinyl. So I'm really excited to get my hands on that vinyl. Some other albums that have already been out this year from some of my favorite musicians. This is where it gets really cool. Charles Lloyd, along with my absolute favorite, the great Bill Frisell, they are back with a new album, and this one is titled Tone Poem. And the whole album is great. I can say that, but even if there was just one track on there, I would be enough for me, and that's Ramblin' by Ornette Coleman. That's such a great tune. I just absolutely love that tune. And I got to see them live in Lviv, Ukraine, one of my all-time favorite places on this earth. And they played that tune, and I have never seen such a jam in my life with Greg Lease on pedal steel, Bill Frisell on guitar, and Charles Lloyd just going crazy on the sax. My goodness, that was... They could have had the whole planet Earth in their palm of their hand, but they certainly had a really huge audience in Lviv, Ukraine, just glued to every note they were playing. And I noticed they played that song a lot live, but it was not on their albums. Now it is. So that alone is already like the highlight of my year, is hearing them finally put Ramblin' on a recording. Also, it doesn't get any better than Tony Rice. Well, wait a second, this album has already been out. 1975, but this is a reissue. It's remastered, and I can hear a little bit of improvements. I mean, you know, it was recorded on probably limited equipment at the time, so there's not a ton you can do with it, but it does sound better than the original recording, even if just a little bit. But it has brand new liner notes from the amazing guitarist Tim Stafford, and some new pictures in there. There's a very shocking fact about this CD, which is, I don't know how to feel about it, which is, this is an incredible recording. It's got some really fine guitar playing, really fine singing, and Tony was only 23 years old when he did this, so I think it may be a sign that all the rest of us need to quit at this point, because we're all past 23 and still don't have a record as good as this. So I don't know. It's I'm teasing, of course, but it's just unbelievable. What a genius and master that Tony was. And following up with that is a new release from Mark O'Connor on guitar. This is titled Markology 2, because we had Markology, the original. Let's see, that is right here from Rounder Records. What year was this originally? 1979. So 4 years after Tony's California Autumn came the original Markology on Rounder Records. Now, in 2021, is Markology 2. It's all solo guitar recordings from Mark, made during the pandemic, I think, in his home studio. It's just absolutely complete, the work of a complete and true virtuoso. It's absolutely incredible. I get to thinking, aside from Tony Rice, there's so few guitarists that have really their own sound. They all are copies of Tony, or copies of Doc Watson, or copies of Clarence White, etc. But you can turn on, you know, any number of bluegrass CDs, and there's 100 different guitar players, and they all sound the same. Mark O'Connor is one huge exception. You know, I could be in a blind listening test, and 100 times out of 100 get who's playing guitar if it's Mark O'Connor. He has a completely unique style. It's just true virtuosic music, just absolutely the best of the best. I think, in my opinion, there's only 3 guitar players that really have such a clear, unique, and defined style that sounds unlike anybody, and that's, of course, Tony Rice, Mark O'Connor, and David Greer. So maybe we'll get a new David Greer album this year. That would be a perfect trifecta. It'd be just absolutely perfect for my ears anyways. But it's really cool to see Mark back on the guitar. All right, well, we'll close the video by looking at the incredible music so far from the great ECM Records, and there's a lot of it. I'm going to go through my favorites so far, but certainly check out ECM Records' website to see all of the releases that they have issued so far this year. There's a lot of them. They continue to just absolutely shock me with the sheer volume of music that they put out every year, but I'm very thankful for them for doing that. In fact, they already have some for later this year, so in video 2 and probably video 3 of this year, you'll see more ECM releases coming out, so that'll be on my list for sure. First up, I think the first in the year for them was from Shea Maestro with an album titled Human. This was just absolutely an incredible release for me. I had listened to their previous recording on ECM, and I really loved it. But this one just was incredibly free. It was a really free expression on this. It felt, you know, so comfortable for them. Really just took everything they did on their first album and just burst it wide open with some huge creative freedom. So I really enjoyed hearing that next installment from them. Next up, probably my favorite recording artist on ECM right now is Nick Birch, the pianist. I talked at length about him in my video of ECM last year. He has a new album. I suppose this was the natural progression, was especially during pandemic times, was to do a solo album. So it's really cool to hear, after a variety of albums with his groups, to hear him now stripped down to just him and a piano, and it is mesmerizing. It is really an incredible listen. It does not get old for me at all. Danish String Quartet is back with their third Prism album. I think they're going to do 5, so it was really nice to see the third one this year. Once again, some really fine music on that. Absolutely love it. Thomas Stronson has a new album out with, I hope I get these names right, Ayumi Tanka and Martha Lee, and this one's titled Bayou. Really fun to listen to. This one is really great. Again, really free, just a lot of free musical expression here. Sinka Langland with an album Wolf Rune. This is actually my introduction to her music. I had seen some albums of hers before, but I never really dived into them and I got myself familiarized with them until now. This one captivated me immediately. From the very first notes I heard to the very end, it just absolutely captivated me. And I think for any of my viewers out there, no matter what your musical tastes are, I think this album, out of anything I mentioned today, will also captivate you for sure. Then one of my favorites right now is from Vijay Iyer. That was super cool to see him with a new album this year. This is with Linda Mayhan O and Taishan Suri, and this is titled Uneasy. And I don't know, I'm not feeling the least bit uneasy when I listen to it because it's just absolutely really grooving. Just they're at their height on this one. Just really great music. And then the last on my list is from pianist Momo Kodoma with the Mito Chamber Orchestra. And for me, this is it's a refreshing to see another example in ECM's mixture where they will take an old piece and juxtapose it with a modern composition. I know a lot of their audience is not a fan of that, but I'm a huge fan of that. I come for the new piece, the more modern classical music, and usually it takes me along for a journey, and then when the next piece comes along, in this case Mozart, I really love it now, having this combination. So I think the thought behind these juxtapositions on these ECM records, I think it's really actually quite genius and really brilliant, because hopefully it will make the people who love only the old piece like the new piece, and vice versa. For me, it does. It really achieves what I think is their goal. So I really appreciate that. Lastly, I saved the best for last. This is another artist that I would not have necessarily expected to release something new in 2021, but I'm very, very, very thankful that she did. I already talked about her a little bit this year, and that is my favorite violinist and favorite person in the world, really, Patricia Kopatchinskaja. She has a new album out. It's extraordinary, and what do you know, it has my absolute favorite piece of all time on there, Schoenberg's Opus 47. So it's just really, really great to hear her take on it. I was always, last year I was practicing this piece, and I actually thought, wow, I would really love to hear Patricia's take on this. Well, I guess sometimes all you have to do is think about something, and it might just turn out to be true, because little did I expect I would get to see that later in a few months. Take a look at just a few seconds of this clip. You'll see, I think this is a live clip, but this is the piece that's on that CD. It's incredible. All right, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you will go out and check out some of these releases. I think somewhere in all the releases I've mentioned will be a new favorite for you, or maybe one of your favorites was already mentioned in there. Let me know in the comments if I did mention one of your favorites, or which pieces you're excited to listen to, or music that I have already missed, perhaps. Tell me what you've been listening to that came out so far this year that you are really enjoying. And if you see more music that's coming out later this year, let me know. So I'm always trying to keep track of it and talk about it later. I'm already seeing some coming out for summer that's looking to be really great. So keep you all posted. All right, thanks so much. See you soon.